You know what I feel like has kind of died in the beauty industry, the makeup industry? Big whole collections, you know? Used to be when I would review products, I would review like whole collections, and now it's just beep, beep, beep. Little launches, kind of sporadically launching, and I'm liking it. I'm having fun. So this leaves like an awkward little video of mini reviews. So not like one long full dedicated review, but I have 4 products where more details than a speed review, but less detail than a dedicated review. You know what I mean? So we got 4 cute reviews today on 4 new products that I'm excited about that entered my collection. So in today's video, you're going to hear about the new Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Lift and Flex Concealer, 2 new blushes that I was very excited about. The star of the show is the Hourglass Unreal Liquid Blush. But you know what? We're going to also throw in the ABH Blaring Serum Blush. All 3 of these are found at Sephora, but there is one new item that I got at Ulta that is not online at Ulta as I'm talking about this. So it should launch soon at Ulta. Too Faced just launched these Disco Crush eyeshadows, and I don't think they were supposed to be out at my Ulta, but they look gorgeous. So we're going to be talking about those 4 products today. If you're interested in any of them, feel free to like fast forward, though I'd love if you could hang out with me throughout the whole thing. That'll be fun too. Okay, let's start off with the concealer. We're going to start off with the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Lift and Flex Hydrating Concealer with hyaluronic acid and caffeine. That is the name, ladies and gentlemen, on the Sephora website. This concealer is $30, and why I was so excited about it is because I love the Yummy Skin Complexion line. They have the Blurring Balm, which isn't my cup of tea, but they also have the liquid foundation that I love. Great full coverage, and then they also have a skin tint that's one of my all-time favorites. So I had to know how this concealer was going to be because chances were I was probably going to love it. It's medium to full coverage, skin-loving, all-over face concealer, 9 plant-powered ingredients. I don't pay attention to ingredients, but in case you do, hyaluronic acid and vitamin E. I picked up the shade number 4, but you can trust that the Danessa Myricks shade range is going to be very inclusive. This is going to be a second impressions. I did already test this yesterday. And note, the first impressions were really, really good. So take a look. You know I'm liking a concealer when I literally put it all over my face. I just ordered the new Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Concealer because the Yummy Skin line has one of the best full coverage foundations, has one of my favorite tinted moisturizers. So I just know the concealer is about to be so good. Okay, let's just see on the under eyes first. I bought the shade number 4. Definitely medium to full coverage. Ooh, that looks pretty hydrated. Let me just... That did something good. It doesn't feel drying, but it still feels like it's going to stay in place for a while. I think that is just sitting beautifully. And you know, we don't use filters here. Blend it all over the face. This is stunning. Obviously, I need to get some more color like bronzer and blush on. It looks and feels like it's gonna have some good longevity. I don't have any powder on and it's not seeping into fine lines at all, but it doesn't look dry, but I have a good feeling it's not gonna crease that bad. Another win to the Yummy Skin line. So yesterday, I'll admit, the wear test wasn't that great. I filmed it in the evening, so I didn't have my proper full beauty routine on. So we're really gonna focus on how it wears today. So shade number 4 on my skin tone, if you're a skin tone match for me, it's a little bit yellow. They describe this shade online as neutral. I think it has some yellow to it, which is good because I have a little bit of blue, but I used this all over my face yesterday, and the tone was a little bit off all over my face using a BK Beauty A506, but I made it work yesterday, so it was fine. I'll see how it's sitting on my skin today if I want to put it all over. But you can tell it, like I said in that video, I love a concealer when I put it all over the face. And this sits really smooth and light and natural, but it does have medium to full coverage. So that's how it looks from one under eye to the other. It's not super full coverage with just this one layer, but it's definitely kind of in between medium to full coverage. And something about the finish of it, I can't describe it, but it does feel like it's going to last a long time and not crease, but it doesn't feel drying. It's just the right hydration to staying power. So let me show you how I wore it yesterday and how I blended it out. I'm just going to first plant the color on the areas that are the most discolored. And then we'll kind of spread it out. With the rest, I'm going to use a BK Beauty N14 brush. This is a smaller detail brush, which I really like for blending out the concealer because concealer tends to be a little bit thicker than foundation, so it's harder to blend out. So this has a little bit more control. It's a little bit more on the stiff side, but we also want the rest of our face to have a lighter level of coverage. So this allows just to get a really even, simple, light spread over the face. This is not a concentrated area of product, so of course it's not going to be full coverage like the under eye where the amount of product that I use is much more concentrated, but I definitely want a little bit more coverage here on the cheek where I carry a lot of redness. But we're really going to be able to see a lot about this concealer today, just how I'm wearing it. But look at that, it doesn't look dry, but you guys, it doesn't feel too watery, too sticky. It feels like it's setting down and gonna last. Okay, let's put this on the other part of my eye. I'm gonna go a little bit heavier now, just kind of be a little haphazard with it. So I like to use this brush to press the product on the under eye because this is where I need the most concentrated coverage. And then after that, switching to this brush and just working in circular motions to get that blended out. Remember, this won't be my perfect color. If I really was looking for an all-over shade, I would have gone a little bit deeper for the outskirts of my face. I did purchase this with using it on the under eyes in mind, just didn't realize the finish was going to be so nice that I'd want to put it everywhere. Okay, so just to be clear, as somebody with dry skin, I'm not saying it's hydrating on the face, but it's also not drying. I feel like it's gonna last, honestly. I know I keep saying that, but like I have such a good feeling, and it's just kind of been sitting in my under eyes, and it really isn't creasing up at all. This is the perfect, like, gives you a good amount of coverage, not too drying, not too hydrating to the point that it's gonna move. Just like yesterday, I'm so happy with it. So I'm excited to see it paired with other products. Yes, we have more blushes because no, the blush launches are not stopping yet. I just put on my Tan de Chanel Soleil Tan. I can never remember this. The Soleil Tan Chanel, whatever. The cream bronzer so that we can put on one of the two of the cream blushes. So again, I did a TikTok on this yesterday on the Hourglass Unreal liquid blushes, and honestly, my first impressions, nothing short of unreal. Take a look. I'm just slapping things that I bought from Sephora on my face. Hourglass has my favorite powder blush formula. They just launched a liquid blush. I don't know if they can top my love. How does this work? Ah, you push the back. I don't know if they can top my Love or their powder blushes. Shake well before use. A little late for that. Hopefully we're still good. Okay, pretty liquidy. This is the shade Future. Ooh, it's really thin, blending out really easily. This is not the deepest shade, but it's definitely not the lightest shade. I kind of applied like watercolor to the cheek. That's a good thing. A very, very good thing. Yeah, it's sheer, but it's still like, it's still packing a punch on my skin, but it kind of just does the work for you. Yeah. Like a watercolor. Gosh, you don't even need that much. It's early days, but that application, first impressions have left me impressed. So this blush, $36. The shade range looks beautiful. I only picked up one. I'm trying to be minimal with what I buy and pick up no more than 2 shades. But I feel like with blushes, with how wild it's been, I was like, I'm gonna only pick up one. So I went with the shade Future, but that pink whim is calling my name. I can't even lie. A liquid blush that visibly plumps with hydration and delivers unreal buildable color for a natural finish that stays in place for up to 12 hours. So I am only going to put it on one side of my cheek. And you saw the back is actually soft because you pushed the product out that way. So sorry, that was blurry, but it is a very thin liquidy product. I'm just going to take a little bit and look. A little goes such a long way. It almost stains the cheek. Okay, I'm just going to go in with a little bit using my Sigma F43 brush. And I'm going to kind of wipe off the excess. I only want a little bit of color here. And this is a product where I truly feel like it works itself out. And like a watercolor, similar to Daniel Sandler blush, but I mean, you do have to shake this. Yeah, it is very close to a Daniel Sandler blush, which I love the Daniel Sandler blushes. And I can't speak for the other shades, but this shade Future delivers the perfect amount of pigment. It is sheer, but it still gives enough. It's not like the Armani luminous silk cheek tints that you have to keep layering and layering. Like, yeah, it's sheer, but it's a little too sheer. No, this gives the right amount of pigment, and I just had that drop on my hand, and I still have a lot of color left to go, and it's definitely buildable. I could take more of this and really concentrate it in that area and have a lot more pigment to it, but pretty much applies itself. They say plumps, hydration. My cheeks do look really hydrated. This would be beautiful on bare skin for just that sun-kissed, no makeup look. Buildable color, yes. Natural finish, yes. We'll see how longevity is on this as well, but honestly, this is an unreal formulation. There's some products where I'm like, it's good, it's fine. But then there are other products where I just get this feeling. Like, even though a liquid blush like this isn't anything new, it gives me that feeling where I'm like, this is good. It has that little oomph to it. So I'm really, really excited about this. This one I don't know that I've heard many people talking about, but I was very curious about the Blurring Serum Liquid Blushes from ABH. This is going to be my first impressions. It's $25, so it's a big old $11 cheaper. It comes in 5 shades, and it seems to be very similar to the Hourglass. Serum Enriched Hydrating Blush, Blurring Soft Matte Finish, that's different. Skin Loving, delivers buildable vibrant color. Look at this long nose that it has. I kind of like it, okay. Okay, let's see, how does it feel? Not as liquidy as the Hourglass. Definitely thicker. Has almost like a lotiony feel to it. And wow, look at that. Interesting. Let me clean my brush. I'm going to put a little bit more on the back of my hand. But do you see how it's soaked in differently from the Hourglass? It kind of soaked in like a moisturizer. So to apply it, I'm just going to use my finger first since this is the first time we're applying it. It definitely has that soft matte finish, and it's applying decent with a finger. Finger is never my go-to, so I spread it out on the back of my hand so that I can get a good even application on the brush. I think the Hourglass is applying easier than this. This seems to dry down, so you kind of want to work not fast but smart, knowing that it does dry. Definitely more natural. Let me try it this way. I just put a dot, see if it's easy enough to blend out. It is. It definitely looks more like a blurred application, which is more natural. Interesting. These formulas sounded like they'd be similar to me, but they're definitely not. This one has more of a dry down. It has more of like a cloudy, blurred blend to it, whereas this one from Hourglass, a little bit more watery. I think both are beautiful in different ways. So we have 2 more very successful blush products to the market. I'm a little bit partial to the Hourglass, I'd say, because it reminds me of Daniel Sandler, and then I love Hourglass. But the ABH is very nice as well. It really does have that blurred look to the cheek. Okay, give me a second. I'm going to finish set the concealer with a little bit of Huda Beauty Easy Bake Loose setting powder to really see how this concealer will wear today. Okay, so the last item I have today, I need you guys to kind of fill in the blanks for me if you know anything about this, at least the day that I'm filming this. I have these Too Faced Disco Crush Multi-Use Face and Sparkle eyeshadows that I found at Ulta a couple days ago. And before filming this video, I was looking online to get the details on this, and quite frankly, they were hard to find. These are not on the Ulta website. These are not on the Too Faced website. But after looking, it seems that they launched one shade before for a Fantasy Factory collection. It was limited edition in small batches. Okay, strange. The only place I could find these was on the Nordstrom website. So you can get these on Nordstrom right now. I don't know when they're coming to Too Faced. I DM'd them on Instagram. I said, hey, I found these Disco Crush eyeshadows. Are they supposed to be out? They didn't respond back to me, so I did my due diligence. But these are $30 each. Shifting shimmer formula that feels weightless and looks ultra luxe. I don't know if I need a glue for this. Let's see. So these are supposed to be for cheeks, for eyes. I'm going to use them one on each eye today. They come in this cute little box. But yeah, my Too Faced at my Ulta look like they had these out for a while. Made in Italy. They feel like they're made in Italy. I can tell. They're just in these clear little components. So first I got Magic Sprinkles. Okay. Look how dimensional. You guys know I love glimmery, shimmery, sparkly shadows. Look at that. Okay. Let's see. Like, how insane does that look? And I don't think I need glue for this. And then the other shade I got, this is Show Off. These definitely are user finger shadows. Like, look, how pretty are these? Okay, these are right up my alley when it comes to a shimmer shadow. So I just like messily put a little bit of browns on from this ColourPop palette. Look at that. I feel like there's a little bit of green to this Show Off color. Oh yeah. I mean, glittery shadows at this point are a dime a dozen. The brands have figured it out. Used to be back in the day. This was really hard to figure out. Only Pat McGrath could do it. And I'll always remain a little biased that the Pat McGrath has the best glimmer formulas, but I mean, this ain't bad. This is not far off. Okay, and then I'm gonna do Magic Sprinkles on this eye. This one is more gold, a little bit more neutral, if you will. Ugh, I'm drooling. These are beautiful, and I don't have any fallout. I mean, these are kind of giving Pat McGrath, if I'm being 100% honest. The glitters are a little bit more chunky, but depends on what Pat McGrath formula I'm talking about. I cannot believe I came across these at Ulta. Anyways, I need some insider info if you have them. I found them at my local Ulta, and they are quite beautiful. So I'm going to put on some liner and lashes, and I'll see you guys out before the wear test. So I kept the makeup pretty light and simple for the day. I think so far all 4 of the products that I used are really beautiful. I'm really liking all of them. I did a good job picking out all of them, but they stood out to me for a reason. So to finish off this video, I mean, I'm just going to check in at the end of the day and show you. Particularly, I'm looking to see how the concealer wears since it is all over my face, and to make sure that the blushes stay nice and vibrant. I don't have any powder over them. I only powdered under my eyes and in my T-zone area, but nonetheless, I'm excited to see the results. So I'll see you guys at the end of the day. All right, we're at the end of the day. I popped on a red lip, but we're not focusing on that. Take a look at the concealer, the blushes. Everything is looking awesome. My mascara has flaked all over, but that's irrelevant. The concealer didn't even crease, really. Like, barely at all. As suspected. It's a pretty long wearing concealer. I'm telling you, I've been doing this for so long. I've tested so many products. I could tell just by initial application, like, this probably was gonna have a good lasting time. And I've impressed myself, really. Interesting. I think the ABH Blurring Serum Blush has lasted a little bit longer than the Hourglass. Like, you can see it's just a bit more vibrant. So it's outlasted the Hourglass, which is pretty interesting, but it makes sense because the ABH is more of a soft matte finish, so that tends to have better longevity. And then the eyeshadow, I don't have any fallout with at all, and I did use Milani eye primer, but there's no creasing whatsoever. So even though the ABH blush lasted longer, they still both look really nice. So everything more perfectly. I'm really happy with everything that I tested. So I will have that all tagged and linked in the description box down below. Jose and I are gonna head over to my parents' house for the rest of the evening, and then, you know, I'm gonna finish my day with some Love Island, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Have a good one. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to my channel. We'll see you later. Bye, guys.